Easy and light. It is Entertainment Thursday. Our first conversation is about music production. On set, I'm joined by a music producer stroke a video director, David.
Yeah.
Is VP. Kofiti?
Kofiti kabisa.
That was your first project?
Yeah, that was my first project. Under Touch Media. Yeah.
Tell us about it. How was it like for you, you know, being someone who's in class, learning music production, video production, then boom, you get your first project and you get to at least produce an artist. Walk us through that.
First of all, the experience was fun. I was able to put in place what I was taught. And yeah, it was really fun.
So when you say it was fun, because I'd want our viewers to understand, just them to understand kwa hii business, your production, what is exciting about it?
Being on set, doing things like being on set with people, using the cameras, yeah.
That is what was exciting about it. Off air, you were telling me that you are not just a music producer, but you're a music producer stroke a video director. What is the difference between the two?
In video directing, there is usage of cameras, being on set with people, but in music production, like in music, it involves being in the studio and making beats and coming up with ideas of the song. Yeah.
So it involves coming up with ideas of the song. That is music production, which I want to believe that is what you are more inclined into, as in that's what you're doing most, you know. So for this particular project, did it involve you coming up with the idea of what Bado as a song is all about, coming up with locations and everything? Ama msanii alikuja akwambia tu by the Devi niko na hii na hii, hebu nisaidie ku put things together. How was it?
You know, in music production, people like the client and the producer, they will have ideas of the song.
The client in this perspective ni huyo msanii, the artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeye anakuja na idea yake and mimi nakuja na idea yangu. So tunaunganisha zote pamoja and we come up with the song. Yeah.
So for this specific one, what was it all about? Because pia kuna input yako kwa that particular song.
Okay, Bado is an inspirational song. Atukisikiza it inspires people when you go through a lot, and it gives them hope of a better tomorrow. Yeah.
So it's more of a song that inspires people, at least if I can say, maybe to think beyond, you know, probably what someone has been through or gone through. Now, let's talk about the skills that one needs to be a music producer, because I want to believe that in as much as this is your first project, at least, you know, being in class, being in school, whether under a media production or under music production, kuna some skills hapa na pale you've gotten here and there. So what skills does one need to be a music producer?
So I don't know if passion is a skill, but
but passion is the driving force. You clearly need that before you even, you know, get to class to start learning these things.
So skills, I think being able to come up with ideas of what you're doing, and having confidence of what you're doing. So aside from that, aside just from the passion bit, like what did you learn in that class that any time to atakungia kwa hii business ako like, wow, when I get here I feel like I would be able to do maybe music production better? Because you see that there's some guys who would say, I feel like I'm just talented, because if you're telling me music production is all about having ideas, I feel like I just have you know, I need the talent bit of it. I'm just talented, I'm good enough, and all of that. But you'll be telling us all of that in a short while, Cindy. So I'm still speaking to David Njue, who is a music producer, and what you're trying to understand from him is what does it entail for one to be a music producer? At least more of what he's telling us is that passion is important and very necessary, because part of what we know is that you need passion before you can even go to class for anything, because that is the driving force. But aside from
passion, aside from just looking at that particular craft and saying that, you know what, I love this, I'm interested in this, what are some of the other underlying skills that one would need to be a music producer? And this goes out to you, our viewers out there, probably if you're a young upcoming, you know, artist, young upcoming music producer, this is just where you need to stick around, because you need to learn and better understand what it is it entails for one to do music production, aside from just coming up with ideas, aside from just having passion, aside from just having talent. There is definitely more of what is required to be a music producer. And also, is it a career that someone would say, this is my job? This is actually my job description. This is what describes me as a person. This is what puts food for me on the table. Is music production a career? You remember oftentimes when you talk about people in the arts, whether it's in film, in acting, in fashion, in music, we always look at these crafts and these jobs as things on the side. For instance, I'm doing 8 to 5. Music production is just on the side. I'm doing 8 to 5. Film and acting is on the side. I'm doing 8 to 5. You know, all these things on the art, they are normally put on the side. But right now, with our time and our generation, you get people coming up and saying that this is my career. This is my job. This is actually my 8 to 5. So also, are we getting in a space where we are sort of like beginning to embrace careers in the arts as actually jobs and full-fledged careers and not just things on the side? Davy,
yeah.
Let's start from that perspective. Because you going to class to learn music production and having a skill in it is because you've decided, by the way, this for me is more than passion.
Yeah.
So do you feel like this is a career for you, or it's just something you do by the on the side, you know, I tried. What is it like for you on that spectrum?
I think for me, it's something that I love doing.
So is it like a fully fledged career for you?
Let me say that. It's a fully fledged career for me. Yeah.
Why then did you decide to go this direction?
Because
aside, let's not just dwell on the passion bit, because everyone always has passion when they're beginning something either way. That's how you're doing it anyway. So let's just not talk about the passion perspective of it. Aside from that, nini ingine ilifanya ukasema, by the way, mi hapa ndo nataka kukaa, mi hapa ndo naenda, regardless mi niko tu kwa hii space?
I think it's the people that surround me. Yeah. Walifanya nikakuwa interested in it. Yeah.
In what way? Expound further.
In a way that there are a lot of people who I look up to. There are a lot of people wenye nataka like kukua like them, because they're making big hits. They're making great music. Yeah.
So which people are these that you look up to and they made you feel unataka kukua music producer? Hata si msanii per se, si anything, but just producing music. Because unapata mara nyingi sana, it's very difficult kupata mtu anakuambia mimi nataka kuwa music producer. Mtu tu ujipata, either ameshinanga studio, ameona wasanii wakikuja, then unajipata tu. But for you, you wanted it. So which people are these that you look up to that made you feel nataka kufanya this?
The people we look up to, first of all, are definitely music producers, Kenyans. The CEO of Touch Media. Yeah. Which
music producers are this in Kenya that you look up to, probably that you admire or do you want to be like them someday?
The CEO Touch, anaitwa Anthony Tambala. Definitely Magic Singer. Yeah.
So those are the ones you look up to here in the country. And beyond?
Beyond, in Tanzania, Ayoliza.
Okay. What is so interesting about how music producers, we mentioned Ayoliza in TZ, Magic Singer in Kenya, na tumeona produced quite a couple of songs. So ni nini interesting about these producers when I look up to them like, wow, this is beautiful. I would love to not be like them, but there's some things I'm picking from them that are making me learn as a music producer. What is that?
The content that they produce. Yeah.
What about the content?
Like if you look at the content that they produce, it's so like admirable. Like mtu ukiziangalia tu mtu anataka kuwa like mtu anataka kuwa kama wao. Yeah.
Just the content that they produce.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we talked about the career bit and saying that wewe ukiingia kwa hii space, it's because you loved it, you had passion for it, this is a career for you. When you talked to your folks, ukiambia want to do this, how was the reception?
The reception, they were like excited because sababu wengi the people want to do music, not production, songs. So they were really excited wakisema wamepata producer wao. Yeah.
So that means you had good support.
Yeah, I really had good support.
Do you feel like the lack of proper support, especially kwa wasanii, and I just want to cut across wasanii because also that entails the music production bit, una feel like lack support is part of what makes, you know, most artists not even go forth, and if so, why? Because
definitely when you lack support, you also lack interest.
When you lack support, you lack interest.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how does it, aside just from the interest bit of it, how does this then make you not go further? Because if it's what you want to do, no matter what happens, just keep pushing.
You know, if you lack support, then you lack people who give you advices, you lack people who give you like things that make you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, now given the fact that Bado was your first project, I want to believe that you want to do more other projects. So how would you go about sourcing rappers or sourcing singers? Ama ni hawa wanakutafuta? What is your plan like?
Tunatafutana.
In what way? I want you to really explain it for us to understand, because we're trying to also target our viewers who might want to get into this space. And someone is wondering, for example, I went to school, I did the craft, I have the skill. So how nasija make it bado so watu hawanijui kama Magic's Enga ama Ayoliza, then how do I start getting artists?
We start getting artists by selling out to your first projects. Selling out your first projects, making sure that the first projects that you have done is presentable to people.
So people that are presentable to you, that is what you know someone might look for. Is that the same also for what you look for as a person?
What I look for as a person is content. Yeah.
What kind of content, or just any kind of content?
No, not just any kind.
So what kind of content?
There's certain contents that zinaribu reputation yako. Yeah.
In what way?
Like there are songs that unaweza produce and they just ruin your reputation.
Which kind of songs are this? You know, you just can't tell us. There are songs you produce and they ruin your reputation. So talk to us more. Which kind of songs are these that you would produce? Because I want to believe, you know, just by being in class, at least you have knowledge and insight about these things. In as much as you haven't done so many projects, I want to believe. So I don't want you to tell us that, you know, there are songs you can produce, they need your reputation. Tell us more. Which songs are these that you can produce and they just revoke your reputation?
The songs that have nudity, they are nude kind of songs. Yeah, that involves people being naked. Yeah.
So does it mean for you as a music producer, if ukisha make it, because kuna hiyo aspect ya ndo nimeanza tu, so pia mimi niko na ethics zangu, because I want to believe what you're mentioning is just part of your work ethic. Does it mean that if an artist comes to you, because umesema ni kutafutana, if an artist comes to you and they have this kind of content, they want their video to look a certain way, and part of it includes that bit of nudity or half nakedness, that means you wouldn't produce it?
No, I wouldn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what next for you as a music producer? Or better as a starting music producer?
I really expect to do more projects for a lot of people. Yeah.
Which kind of projects are we expecting? Is it the same as what we've seen in Bado, or, you know, maybe we'll diversify?
I'll diversify.
Which areas?
Gengeton kidogo.
That's where there's a lot of nudity. I'm surprised if that's why you want to diversify, and you're saying you wouldn't do such kind of, you know?
I'll be a little bit strict. Yeah.
Then I'm interested. If you're saying you'll be a little bit strict, what kind of measures would you employ? Because so far tukiangalia gengeton kind of music videos hata imeka there's a lot of, you know, back and forth between gengeton artists and even Dr. Ezekiel Mutua because of the kind of content and the kind of video that is there, saying that especially for this upcoming generation, it's a little bit hizi video tunaonanga hapa na pale, you know. So what kind of measures would you employ as a producer to ensure that at least you don't get to produce such kind of, you know, songs where there's nudity or half nakedness and all of that?
First of all, you talk to the client. Unamwambia tusipite extent ya expose this kind of things kwa media. Yeah.
Talking is not enough.
As you do the action. Unamwambia mkienda on set unakuwa strict. Unamwambia no, that I can't do that. Yeah.
Does it mean music producers, for example, if you're producing content for secular artists, you are just restricted to that space? Or you can even do gospel?
You can even do gospel. Like, you know, being a music producer or video director, you're not restricted to do a certain
genre of music.
Yeah, you diversify. You do gospel, you do secular. Yeah.
So for the artist that we saw there, that you did the song Bado, was that an upcoming artist?
Yeah, he was an upcoming artist, Uncle D. Yeah.
Then does it mean also since you are starting, what is your target kind of artist? Because just the way again you said ni kutafutana. So is your target kind of artist wale wenye wame make it ama wale wenye wako upcoming? What is in your mind as a producer?
What is in my mind is both. You can work with both. Upcoming, you push the upcoming hata wafike kwenye wanataka kufika. And you work with also the superstars. Yeah.
Finally, as we conclude or as we finish the interview, which big artists here in Kenya would you like to produce their content and why?
In gospel or in...
Whichever way. You must have thought about it, you know, as a... just tell us one.
Arabon.
Why?
Because I think the kind of music he does, he does good music.
I will hold you to accountable. You said you wouldn't produce nude kind of stuff. We'll see, because you can see your name on the credits. Thank you so much, David Njue. That is David, a music producer, just talking to us about being an upcoming music producer, what next for him and what it entails to be a music producer. We take a very short musical break, but we'll be back with more of Good Morning Kenya because we are not yet done with the show.